Hello guys and welcome back to Makeup FOMO. Today I really wanted to try doing, I guess it's like a tag slash challenge video, using all the shades in the palette or whatever it's called, using all the colors in the palette, using all the shades in the palette. I wanted to do that video, and so I was looking through my whole collection and I wanted to find one that wasn't going to be like obviously super hard, like not one with like 50 shades in it, but then not one that was gonna be too easy. And also we have our going away party. Me and my husband have our going away party today since we're moving, so I also couldn't do anything like super crazy and out there. So I grabbed the Makeup Geek Manny MUA palette. This is discontinued now, like they don't make this anymore, but I haven't used this palette in forever and it is just such a good palette. Makeup Geek shadows are awesome, and like just this whole color scheme, like I just love everything about this palette. If you guys haven't seen it before, which I'm sure you probably have, it's kind of got like a lot of nice neutrals, but then also has like some fun pops of color, and you can do like something really like natural and kind of everyday, but you can also do something a little more out of the box. So I figured this would be a good palette to use because I can kind of do something right in the middle hopefully and still incorporate all the shades. So there's 9 shades in here, so it's not like it's super easy where there's only like a couple of shades, but it's not super challenging with like 15 or 20 shades or something like that. So I figured this would be perfect because I can definitely do a look that's gonna go with what I'm wearing for the party and just be like appropriate for a Sunday afternoon party. And I also figure a ton of you probably have this palette because I know so many people just fell in love with this when it first came out, and everybody loves Manny. So I know a lot of people have this even though they don't sell it anymore, so I did want to use it, and I haven't even used it myself in forever, it feels like. So wanted to dust it off, break it out for this video, and show you guys what I can do. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I have kind of an idea, but I don't want to do anything like over the top, super like dark or smoky or anything, but I do want to make sure I can use all the shades. So if you guys want to see me use all the shades in the palette and see what we can come up with, then let's just get started. Okay, so we are all zoomed in. I'm gonna start kind of easy and just use this really like a neutral plain. It's not like a bone shade, it's a little bit darker than a bone shade. It's like a really light beige, but I'm just gonna use that to just set my whole lid. I have like some concealer on it, I guess kind of as like a primer type step. So I think the game plan is we're just going to start light and kind of work our way to the darker shades so we don't go too hard too quickly. So I'm going to take this shade right in the center here. These have names, so I should tell you what the names are. So the one that I just used is called Beaches and Cream, which is I feel like one of Makeup Geek's most like favorite or like most loved best-selling shades. I feel like everyone loves Beaches and Cream. So that was the first one, and then the next one I'm going to use is right in the middle here, and it's called Sora. And I'm just going to use a big fluffy brush and just like blow that out kind of all in the crease. And I'm going to bring this up pretty high because this is going to be kind of like the transition shade, and then I want all the other shades I'm going to put in the crease to like blend right into this one. I feel like we take this for granted, but I feel like so many palettes don't have it in it, and that is a mirror, and this palette does have a mirror, and it's like basically the size of the whole top of the palette. And I just feel like because ColourPop and like so many palettes don't have mirrors in them, whenever I have a palette with a mirror, especially when I'm like doing videos and stuff, I'm just so thankful because it just makes it so much easier. Okay, so next on just like a slightly more dense but still fluffy brush, I'm gonna take the shade Frappe, which is this like slightly darker and cooler brownish crease type shade, and I'm gonna just layer this kind of in the same area as the other shade we just used, that Sora shade, but I'm just not gonna blow it quite as high. I'm gonna keep it a little bit lower and more concentrated in the actual crease. And this shade is actually really pigmented, so you don't need a lot of it to really be able to see it. I just love those two shades together. There's something about like this really warm with this kind of more cool toned mid-tone shade that just like looks so good layered together in the crease. I love that. And then to blend those two together and like add a little bit more warmth back, I'm gonna take this shade here, which is called Cosmopolitan, and it is a shimmery shade, but it's not like super metallic. And I was thinking I could just use this again on this like big fluffy brush just to kind of blend those two together and kind of blend out the edge, just to put a little bit more of that warmth back in from the first shade. I'm not really the type that's bothered by shimmers in the crease. Like I don't feel like I know a lot of people don't like that, but it doesn't bother me. So I'm just really lightly tapping my brush in and just literally dusting this on the outer edge of the other two shades just to like feather it out. So we are 4 shades in so far, not too bad. So these two are like my 2 absolute favorite shades in the palette. They're like literally what made me want to purchase this when I first got it. This one is called Aphrodite and this one is called Mars. I think what I want to do, I'm going to use like kind of a pretty small, like concentrated fluffy brush. And I think I'm going to take Aphrodite first, just in the outer corners, just to like add some depth and smoke it a little bit into the outer crease. And then I'm going to layer a little bit of Mars, not a ton of it because I don't want this to be like a super red look. And I'm just going to kind of blend those both on the outer portion of the eye, just to deepen it up and add a little bit of color. This is again kind of playing with the cool and the warm tones. This shade is like mostly brown but kind of has like a purple undertone, and that is what I love about it so much. It's like a plummy brown. Okay, so now I'm going to blend a little bit of that Mars shade kind of like over top, but not, I don't want to like cover it up or anything. I kind of just want to like melt them together, and I think it's going to create like a really cool mixture. Ooh, doesn't that look cool? It kind of turned it into like this like burgundy, like wine kind of shade, because the red is like kind of, it's a definitely very pigmented red, but the brown, or like the Aphrodite shade's kind of, like I said, a purplish brown, so it's making like a burgundy tone, which I actually really like. So I'm just patting Mars right on top of it and then bringing it a little farther onto the lid. Really good red eyeshadows I feel like are hard to come by, and that is what I feel like this palette does so well. It's like one of the best characteristics of this palette is this Mars shade. It really is a standout shade in my opinion. So I'm already loving the whole concept of this challenge already, and I think that is kind of the point of it. The whole challenge is, or the tag or whatever it is that this is totally like challenging you to do something that you probably wouldn't do. I would never reach for this and like intentionally try to use every shade. I would kind of just go for, you know, something, you know, maybe with a couple of these shades, mix and matching. But the fact that I have to use all of them, I would never have normally done this whole like purple red thing. But do you see the like new shade that I created out of that? It's like a really fun like burgundy. Oh, I am really loving how this is coming out so far. So what I'm gonna do next, I love this shimmery shade called Luna right here. It's kind of like a rose gold, I would call it. Mine actually, it broke when I first bought it, so that's why it looks a little funny because I had to repress it. But I'm just gonna take that right on my pointer finger, and this is very, very pigmented, and I'm gonna just layer this pretty much all over like the first half of the lid, so that it starts on the inner corner and just meets. I don't want to cover up where that Mars shade goes right in the center, so I'm just gonna kind of have them meet like right in the middle. Oh, isn't that shade pretty? I'm sure if you wet it, this would be even more like metallic and blinding. So I got most of it down with my finger, but now I'm just gonna use a flat, this is a Urban Decay brush, just to like top it off and make it a little more precise. And then just to blend, I'm going to take a little bit more of Mars and then a tiny bit more of Aphrodite. Oh my gosh, I love this. So you probably saw this coming, but I'm going to grab Artemis, which is basically just like a white, it's pretty much a pure white. It has like almost like a gold undertone shimmery shade. I'm just going to highlight my brow bone and my inner corner with this shade. So very last, we have this kind of intimidating shade here called Insomnia. This is like that blue brown kind of shade and pigment that like MAC and Wet n Wild and like a ton of different brands have. And it's such a cool like duochrome, brownish, bluish, greenish, like metallic shade. Like I said, I'm trying to do something fairly wearable since I have my party today, but I do obviously have to incorporate it, and I just love, especially for spring and summer, a little pop of color on the bottom lash line, something a little bit unexpected. So I'm just going to take this really small like packing brush and a little bit of this, and I'm just going to line my lower lash line with this, which will help just deepen the look up a little bit, but also add, oh, there comes the sun. Hello. This will add a little bit of depth, but also a kind of a fun little like greenish bluish pop of color, and I love that. I'm just gonna bring this basically like halfway. This is such a fun color. If I didn't have my little get together today, I probably would have tried to incorporate this like on the lid and done something a little bit more like bold and out there, but I still think this is a really pretty way to use it. And then I just wiped that same brush off, and I'm just going to take the highlight shade Artemis again and basically just drag this in even further from the inner corner to meet the blue brown shade, like right kind of in the center. So this is the look so far. So I think so far so good. I am just going to do my mascara, curl my lashes. I think I'm going to throw on a pair of falsies, and then I will be right back. Okay guys, so we are back, and I finished up the rest of my makeup. So this is the look. I am actually like completely obsessed with this look. This is probably one of my most favorite looks that I have done like on my YouTube channel. I just feel like I did something that I would not normally come up with, and something like not out of my comfort zone by any means, but definitely something that I don't think that I would have normally done if I was sitting down just to play with this on like a regular basis, or even if I were to sit down to film a video with this. I just don't think that this is what I would have came up with. And I love the little pop of blue on the lower lash line. I think that's just like a really subtle, like, I don't feel like it's super obvious. Like, I don't know if you can really tell looking at me head on, but if you're a little bit closer up to me, you can see just a little hint of shimmer and like that little pop of blue down there. But that is everything for this video. I had seriously so much fun with this video. I would even consider like trying to do this challenge again, maybe not calling it like this so I don't have the same video on my channel multiple times, but I think I would definitely see in my collection if there was other palettes that I think I could do something similar with, and just challenge myself to like see if I can come up with something kind of like not necessarily creative, but just something that I wouldn't normally think of, and challenge myself to do this again, because I had so much fun and I'm like so obsessed. I'm probably gonna do this look again on myself, like again. But that is going to be all for this video. I thank you guys so much for watching. I so appreciate you being here. If you would like to subscribe, we would love to have you. We have so much fun here. And until next time, I'll catch you in our next video. Bye guys.